All right. Give me a thumbs up, folks, if you can hear me. This is our Mindset Mondays. I know this isn't that day, but we thought it would be appropriate to discuss a topic here that is very important. Every trader at some point in their career is going to take losses. Now, if you are a new trader, likely you're taking losses in the beginning of your career, and maybe you're a struggling trader and you're still taking losses. Well, no matter who you are, you're going to take losses. Today is, a very nice trading day. Although I don't have any losses today, 6 for 6 effective trades by the morning, called out of the Discord. There are days I do take losses. Out of 30 some odd trades, 30, 35 trades, I'm going to take about 3 to 5 losses. That's my win-loss percentage. And, they're part of trading. You can't escape them. Even, JP Morgan, Bank of America, they all have some red days throughout the year. Out of 252 trading days, they may have 10 to 14 red days. We'll see, right? You never know when, but overall, they come out green. Now, the question is, how do you handle these losses, right? What do? Our Mindset Mondays today, our topic is how to turn discouragement into determination when handling a loss. We're going to talk about action plans and follow through. And we're going to talk with one of our moderators, Sonny, and kind of pick his brain a little bit because Sonny came to me some time ago. We talked a little bit. This was, I don't know, at this point, some months ago, and maybe a few months ago. And Sonny had taken a loss that was a little sizable for what he wanted to see, right? Size is relative to everyone, right? How much money you make or lose, but everyone has a threshold. And so for Sonny, he mentioned this is not a loss that he wants to ever take again or sustain. And I don't blame him. Nobody wants to take a loss. And so we're going to talk with you about how that conversation went, how he felt about that, some things that we'll discuss. It's going to really be, making mistakes over and over, right? Has it ever happened to you? Just keep doing the same thing over and over. What shakes you out of that routine? We're going to talk about really how to self-analyze, break down the trade, break down yourself, break down your patterns. Okay, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about really drilling down in the market, price action, all right? Maybe some things that can help you, like lowering trade count, etc. And then we're going to talk about, the after effects, really journaling, making sure you track yourself and what you can do to get better. All right, we're going to touch on all those things. And then a little bonus here. The part that a lot of traders don't talk about is the emotional side and the discouragement and how it can lead to depression. Has it ever happened to you where you just get hammered with some trades, some red days, maybe red week, maybe even red month, and you're like, man, I don't know if I can do this. Or you're thinking to yourself, man, I'm not good at all. I'll never get it. And you begin to feel worthless, or you begin to feel dejected. You begin to feel like you should give up. Has that ever happened to you? And you get depressed? Well, that's happened to traders. I know for a fact that has happened to me at some point or another in the beginning stages. And so I'll tell you, folks, those are some emotions we've got to talk about, and we've got to formulate a plan to address them. So let's get into it. Our Mindset Mondays, our topic, how to turn discouragement into determination when handling a loss. Action plans and follow through. Sonny, are you there? If you are there, Sonny, we can't hear you just yet. Make sure you got your volume on or you hit that button there to get live here with us. Cannot hear you just yet, Sonny. Make sure you hit that button there. Can you guys give me a thumbs up, guys, if you guys can hear me? Give me a thumbs up, making sure that you guys can hear me here. All right, cool. Looks like we got some nice participation. Okay, I guess you guys have felt that way before in your career. That, hey, man, I'm worthless, or I'm stupid for doing that. I'm never going to get this. All those things. Yeah, for sure. We felt that way. That's certainly, those are normal emotions when you are trying hard to accomplish a task in the market, yet you can't get past certain thresholds. It happens. Those feelings come up. Still looking for the audio there, Sonny? Still looking for the audio there. Nope, we can't hear you. No, we cannot hear you. Can anybody else hear Sonny? No. Okay, everyone's saying no. Not yet. All right. You're going to make me have to edit this one, Sonny, which I never do, but I'm going to have to cut out the dead air. So we'll give Sonny some time to get his audio straight there. Got some questions we want to talk to him about. Got some topics we want to discuss. And he certainly has a nice experience that I think it would be nice for traders to hear, because quite frankly, we've all been there. We've all had the same similar experience where we're taking losses. Some people have sustained smaller losses in the thousands, low thousands, others tens of thousands, some hundreds of thousands, and some millions. I've trained all of those traders. They've all been in the Discord or are in the Discord. Many of them have made their money back in this Discord, and some are still trying to get to the next level, right? Some are still trying to get to the next level. Everyone moves at a different pace. I've trained traders that have been in the market for a few months, and I've trained traders who've been in the market for 30 plus years. Now, you can go over to the testimonials tab to see that, the experience and how these traders have had a good experience in this Discord and the training. But no matter who you are, you're going to have to get a hold of losses. You're going to have to grip them. Now, the sooner you do this, the better. Now, what you should know first off, as Sonny kind of gets going here, is that you can learn everything with trading as far as technicals, but the emotional skill is the hardest part of trading, and it's going to take you some time. I think I heard you there, Sonny. Did you get in? I think I heard you there, Sonny, for a moment. Did you get on?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sonny. How you doing, buddy?
All right, excellent.
Excellent. Good. How's your trading day going so far today?
Well, I admittedly overtraded today, but I've had the greenest day that I've ever had today.
Oh my
But
gosh. Nice.
yeah, I'm up over 1,000, and I've taken 15 trades, but they were all mostly scalps.
Scalps. All right. Well, you're going to end the day green because you're going to stop right now, right?
Oh yeah, I'm done.
My God. Now that's a great segue, because that's a huge turnaround from maybe what was happening in the past, and maybe some other thing. Now you've never been, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you've never been a terrible trader, I don't think.
Oh no, I would disagree.
Oh, okay. I tried to cut you. Hey, listen, I tried to cut you some slack, but all right, hey, you said it, not me. And I can appreciate your honesty, man.
No, I definitely, as you know, I think I'm about 7 months in right now,
Yeah.
and well, I mean, maybe technically closer to a year, but
But as far as like really trying this thing, how long have you been inside of the Discord?
6 months, a
All
little
right.
bit over 6 months.
All right, great. And before that, I know you tried some things. Is it fair to say, let's keep it real, is it fair to say you were a lagging indicator lover?
Actually, no, I believe
No?
it or not, I was never, because I had some experience, trying to program crypto bots,
Yeah.
and before I even got into day trading. And every strategy that I tried to write used some kind of lagging indicator, MACD, RSI, moving averages, whatever they were. And I never got the bot off the ground. And this was after a year of actually trying to develop.
You never
And
were profitable with this thing?
well, I never put it live because we never got
Oh, back test. You never could get the accurate results to test anyway.
well, we got good back tests, but then we started the forward testing process, which was to, throw it onto a server and just let it run, doing paper trading, but it never was profitable because,
Interesting.
and I believe that's because of using lagging indicators.
100%.
And so and that's actually what attracted me to the Discord, was because I saw some of your YouTube videos and you talked about how you don't use lagging indicators. And at the time I was really, and I still am really interested in, becoming more of a price action trader. And, and that's sort of where I'm trying to lean into now. I feel like I'm finding a strength, and that strength is, getting those small wins, because I find, and you know, I'm, I don't know if this is true for other people or not, but I find that it's much easier for me to predict small moves than it is for me to predict large moves. And maybe that's everybody, I don't know. But when I'm keeping to trying to predict smaller moves, I'm much more successful.
Nice.
So I
Nice.
feel like I should lean into the strength of being a scalper, at least for now,
And I
until.
agree with that. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And we'll discuss this at another time when it comes to the different types of traders. But there are 10 primary types of traders, 10 different personality types and types of traders. And you guys know that I'm big on developing a trade identity, understanding your personality, psychology of trading, and leaning into your strengths. And once you understand the framework of trading and develop your strength, absolutely nothing wrong with leaning into it and working that thing over and over. So I would agree with you. I would agree with you. That's nice. Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about kind of losses, man. Let's talk about losses and really how how you can um how you can deal with them. Our topic centers around discouragement, how to turn discouragement into determination when handling a loss, action plans and follow through. Now, you had an interesting something that happened to you in the market some time ago. Care to share your experience with us, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, sure. So it was, I think, December, and I had just got introduced to futures trading, downloaded, the new platform, Ninja Trader, and I got really excited about it. And I decided to jump in and try to do some live trades. And I think it was just like day one. No, it was the second day. The first day I did one live trade and ended up doing okay. And then the next day I was like, I'm going to give this the old college try, and yeah, it wasn't good. I my so I had it set up so that I was trading ES, and I was using a fixed stop loss and profit target, and anytime I would get stopped out of a trade, I would lose $200.
Wow.
And if I were to win, I would have won like 400 or 600. I forget exactly what it was. And I just kept losing. I lost a bunch, and I ended up losing to the tune of $1,400, which, I get it. For some people in here, that's like, pocket change. For other people in here, that's just too much money to lose. For me, it wasn't the money so much, honestly, that put me into the depression. It was my behaviors, after looking at the day, and how I acted throughout that day, and my executions and why I executed. Because I'll be upfront with you guys. I mean, I lost $22,000 in crypto, and so it's not even close to the biggest loss I've ever taken. With the whole investing thing. So I've
Yeah.
definitely lost more money in crypto, but man, that $1,400 really, it put me into depression. And I actually took that worse than I took the $22,000 crypto loss. Because at least with the crypto loss, I felt like I was with everyone else. Like everybody's losing, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so it wasn't it was like, okay, the world is collapsing, the crypto world is collapsing, everybody's taking losses, I'm no different. and I was able to accept that. But when it comes to day trading, it's a little different because, you are in 100% control of, well, not 100% because the market can do whatever the market does, but you're in a lot more control over what happens to your P&L on a given day than you are just, throwing your money at something and then forgetting about it.
Yeah.
And so when you are the captain of the ship and the ship goes down, it's not a good feeling,
Yeah.
I felt like I let you down, Katie. I felt like I let the Discord down. I let myself down. I let my wife down. And I definitely said to myself, this, I don't know if I can do this. Um, and I really had to have a, you know, come to Jay kind of discussion with myself.
Right.
And,
So
and I
let's talk
just
about
had,
that for a bit. Let's talk
sure.
about that if you don't mind. What? So I remember reaching out to you, like we normally do, especially with the mods. You guys know we talk, and it's very important to me that the mods are getting the support and consistency, right? And for the most part, well, they are not even for the most part, everyone, right? But when we all hit with bumps, and so I remember talking with you a little bit. Um, and you were dejected. You were just like, yeah, I could hear it in your voice. It's not the same as it normally was, or is. Talk to me about what was going on in your mind.
Yeah, so I was definitely, I think the word I used was despirited,
Yeah.
in a big way, and it hit me. It hit me really hard, and it just made me feel like eh, it's funny how you can attach self worth to your trade executions.
Oh yeah, isn't that crazy? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
you could be winning in any area of life. You could be a great mother, great father. You could be a great friend, great this or that. But you start getting slapped around in the market, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm a worthless human being.
yeah,
I shouldn't live anymore. Right? It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean,
yeah.
is that how you've seen it too?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it was so, it just took the wind out of my sails,
Yeah.
and it was just an awful experience, and it stayed with me probably for 2 or 3 days before I
Mhm.
started to like finally get over it and pick myself up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
start acting. But
So
yeah,
now we had a conversation, and it was a little tough, I will say. I hope I wasn't too tough on you, but I
no,
gave
not
you
at all. It was the right amount.
yeah, I gave it to you straight. Some things that I can remember I told you is that you have to remember your training, but number two, don't allow a loss to erase the successes that you already have had. So for example, if a person is tracking their trades and they have some successes, a loss isn't, how do I want to put this? It's not the amount of money that makes one loss greater than the other. That is a factor, but it's the lack of discipline or the behavior and things like that. So if we really see losses as lessons, not losses, we can pull ourselves out of despair. And then there were some other things we talked about as well. I don't remember the full conversation, but I do know that I was pretty straightforward with you, and because it called for it, and you were really talking dejected, and it called for some real straight talk here. But so your feelings, certainly we've all felt that way at one point, and if anyone who's traded can understand that, right? So let's talk a little bit about then. All right, you were making some of the same mistakes over and over until the pain got too great. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so well, real quick, two things that you said to me that stuck out. One
Okay,
was
great.
you were like, that $1,400, it's gone. Forget it. It's gone. It's done. You
Yep.
can't, um, and then you also said to me, which built me up a little bit. You're like, you're still a monster trader. You just need to get back into the saddle. You need to forget about this loss and move on. And of course, those words are very, very, very powerful. But I couldn't do it in that moment. It took me a day. But I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about, okay, it's just gone. Just forget about it. Just move on. He's right. Just move on to the next one. Get better. And yeah, and that's so at that point, that's when I started to really deep dive. And I think I took the weekend and I just started paper trading all weekend. I mean, I can't even tell you how many hours I sat
Nice.
in front of Ninja Trader doing market replay and just trading, 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 trading as much as I possibly could,
Nice.
and really leaning into the areas of interest, because that's something that you had told me a while back that had really helped me out. And I started to just and then I actively, because like you said, once the pain gets to be too much, you will be forced to change.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I was doing was over trading every day. And it's ironic because I had a great day today and I over traded, but again, I was scalping more.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, reducing my trade count uh, just by doing that alone automatically started making me a better trader.
Nice.
Because when you reduce your trade count, you you will sit there and like, if you look at it like this, right? I'm going to be real picky about, like, everybody's picky about something, right? Maybe you're picky about the music you listen to, maybe you're picky about the movies you watch,
Yep.
whatever it be. I said I'm going to be real picky about the setups that I take. I'm going to
Hmm.
be a snob about the setups I take.
Nice.
Like, nope, that one's not, nope, I don't like that. Nope. And when I started doing that, that's when things started to turn around for me. When
Yeah.
I started
Yeah.
to get real snobby
Yep. And it gets
about the
kind of
setups.
scary. It gets kind of scary because your win percentage is just through the roof, and you'll look up and you still will have taken 5, 6, 7 trades by the morning. You won't even
Yeah.
have taken that many. You won't even have taken, really, you won't have taken less trades. You would have taken better, solid setups. You agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Now you mentioned something very nice in our discussion. You mentioned that when you took these losses, right? You reached out, right? Obviously, I checked with the mods and we talked, whatever. So it's very important for people to look for support and help and not go into their own, dungeon of despair in their own mind. Get out your own way. Go look at the first video or first or second video I've ever posted. It's called "Get Out Your Own Way: Why Day Traders Fail," something to that effect, and to help a person. A little bit of a pep talk there. But after that, you mentioned that you busted yourself down to paper trading. How did that help you? And what do you think that did for your confidence?
Yeah, so after I took that loss, I said, okay, obviously I don't have a handle on the market and, reading the price action yet. So I decided to relegate myself to 90 days of paper trading, which I'm still in. I actually started paper trading immediately after that happened, but my 90 days started actually this month. So as of January 1st, I'm doing 90 days of paper trading. And then in April, I don't want to, the superstitious part of me does not want to start trading on April 1st. So, so maybe April 2nd, you know,
Yeah.
I'll start doing live trades. But but yeah, I'm committed to doing 90 days of paper trading to get better, so that not only do I feel more confident, but that I can shore up some actual setups that I use over and over and over again. And also, you know, like, basically by the end of that 90 days, I want to be having no more than 5 trades in a day consistently. I want to be profitable consistently, and I want to make sure that I'm reading the market correctly over the, and I know it takes a lot more than that, but before I want to start taking live trades again and risking my own capital again, I want to make sure that I am at least following my own rules,
Mhm.
um, rather consistently, so that when I jump back in, I will say, oh, nope, nope, I'm not going to take this trade because
Yeah.
it breaks this rule.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so busting myself down to paper trading has helped me because now I can also take a couple of chances here and there that I wouldn't normally take just to try things. I'm not too big on that because I don't want to. I basically want to get more disciplined,
Yeah.
not use my paper trading to go wild and do crazy things that I normally wouldn't do. But it does give me the option to experiment a little bit outside the box
Maybe test a
without.
setup here and there or something
Yeah,
like.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, I
I
get it.
mean,
And how you practice is how you play. So that's critical. How you practice
right.
is how you play.
Right. And, VVP still being the core of everything that I do, I'm just now trying to, like I said, lean into the things that I'm getting better at.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's absolutely the way to go. The trick is, has this ever happened to maybe if you're listening to this, has this ever happened to you? You take a loss or some losses and you have a bad, you could say session, day, week, month, whatever. And then you say, maybe you said this to your colleagues or peers or others inside of whatever Discord that you were in before or whatever. You say these words: I'm going to take some time off from trading. Have you ever heard somebody say that? I'm going to take some time off from trading. You ever heard that? Well, when people say that, that statement and that action is actually very detrimental to their progress. It's not the trading that you should be taking time off from, it's the poor practices, right? It's the lack of discipline and some other things. But you should continue to trade, paper trading in the environment, logged in, showing up every single day. Otherwise, you can't eliminate those poor things that you're doing. Now, you did something similar to that because when things got tough with you, when the going got tough, well, the tough got going. And you said that you started to learn as much as you could about price action, about reading the market, and you lowered your trade count. Can you talk to me about some of those things that you did after you kind of licked your wounds a little bit for that day or so? You said, all right, I'm still in the game. I'm going to formulate a plan of action. Talk to me about how this rabbit hole of research and prep and practice and discipline helped you out.
Right. So, yeah, after, like I said, I took the weekend, and that's when I started getting real serious about paper trading and, learning a lot more about price action, just the way it moves. I started experimenting with, um, a lot more multi-time frame analysis.
Mhm.
And that is one of the key principles that I use now. Like, I will not enter a trade now unless I will look at the 60, the 30, the 15, the 5, the 3, and the 1. And if they are all in confluence, then I will take my trade. But yeah, that was something that I was ignoring. And I think you were the one that talked to me, and we were talking about how, like, when you're on these low time frames, like 1, 2, 3, and you see these large candles, especially if you're zoomed in, you might get the false sense that there's something happening in the market, but realistically, you're just zoomed in, so everything looks like a large candle.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's what got me to start looking at um, all these different time frames because it's amazing. It's like you might look super bullish on the 3-minute chart, but then you look at the 15 and the 30 and the 60, and they're all showing top down pressure.
Yeah, you just
Right.
chipping. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I should wait.
Yes. Yes. Now you couple that with volume, volatility, price action, a price level, and you wait for your triggers, as you say, and you got a winning setup. You got a winning
Right.
setup. It's interesting.
So
I just find it interesting how a lot of times it's happened with all of us. A lot of times a loss is the catalyst for work. Have you noticed that sometimes? Now sometimes folks can just leave the game too, but a loss is just enough to make a person say, "All right, I'm going to get serious with this." Do you feel that happened with you?
Yeah, 100%. And again, I have the benefit of coming from this combat sports world,
Yeah.
and I know for a fact that the only way to get better at combat sports is taking losses,
Yeah.
especially in competitions.
Yeah.
You go out into a competition and you lose when maybe money is on the line, or you know your personal reputation's on the line. You're trying to represent your gym, and you go out there and you take a loss. It changes you, and you come back and you dig in, and that's just how you get better. And there's no two ways around it. And as a matter of fact, I have a graph in the gym written on a whiteboard that shows the correlation between losing and getting better, and it's like almost a straight line up, you
Mhm.
know. And then you have people that come into the gym and all they want to do is try to win in the gym rather than learn in the gym. And those are the guys and or gals that take the longest to get better because they care about winning in the moment rather than, in the practice room,
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than, getting better at jujitsu.
What about that guy that said I'd never take a loss?
Yeah, yeah, you get those people that come in, and those are those are very funny people. Um, I did I tell you about that? Did I the
Yeah,
story, the
yeah,
correction?
I think you told
Yeah,
me about one time, but I know you get them a lot, but go ahead and tell us.
yeah. So, we had a corrections officer come in, and don't get me wrong, I love police and corrections officers. I mean, they're great for what they do and everything. But this guy came in with kind of an ego. He was probably about 35, 40 years old, jacked, probably about 220 pounds. And he said, I've only lost two fights in my entire life, and I'm looking to test myself. And so I was like,
That's
okay,
a
just,
strong statement. He's talking to the black belt now.
yeah. I was like, all right, well, sign the waiver.
Sign
so,
sign this waiver.
so I had the guy sign the waiver, and I put him with a 160-pound kid. And
One of your students.
yeah, one of my students. And it took him all of about 30 seconds to choke this guy. And, and I kind of jokingly said to him, I was like, well, now you've lost three fights in your entire life. And he still wanted to test me out, and I was like, okay, we can train. So we hit hands, which I'm sorry, we shook hands, which is kind of how you start each roll.
Mhm.
It's to kind of like say, hey, we're friends, we're gonna be friends after this. And so he started with me. I kind of just, you know I swept him, which means I put him on his back, and I got into what's called the mount position, where I'm
Mhm.
straddled over him.
Mhm.
And I didn't even do a move to the guy, and he just tapped out because he
He
couldn't.
just gave up. He's like, "All
Yeah,
right."
he just couldn't handle, like,
So
somebody
wait a minute.
being
So wait a minute. So are you telling me that when we joke in the Discord that you actually do know how to sweep the leg? Sweep the leg.
I I I do. It's a little different than they taught it in the karate movie there, but yeah.
I get a kick at that every time someone says, "Sonny, sweep the leg." So you actually did sweep the leg. Nice. And so the guy just that was that.
Yeah, I mean, he went down, he's on his back, I jumped on top, and he just kind of realized he was in a very, very bad situation, and he tapped. And
That
then
was
the
it.
crazy part is the guy signed up for a year up front, which it's no small penny. I think, was it like, I don't know, 1,400, $1,600 or something like that for a whole year up front. And 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 then he never came back again.
What?
Yeah, that's the crazy part. And I even called the guy, like, because when you sign up, he gives your phone number and your email. And I even called the guy and tried to encourage him. I said, "Listen, man, if you want to get better at this stuff, you got to show up. I mean, you paid for the year, at least use it." And he just, his ego would not allow him to come back.
Wow. Now,
And
and what's
and
interesting about that is, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what he does, he will never get better at that until he puts that ego to a side and he gets the training and development.
right. I mean, that's one of the first things that at least if there's one thing I can say, it's that I know, at least I'm willing to admit that I don't know what I'm doing when it
Right.
comes to day trading.
Right.
Like, I see what you do and every day, and honestly, I'm in awe of it. Again, you know me, I'm not trying to kiss your behind or anything,
Yeah.
but it's just amazing. Like, you call these, you make these call outs, you're reading the tape is just it's like ninja style. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm like, all right. And I literally I said to myself, I'm not going to be able to do that for a while. So
No.
I need
I,
to come up with my own sort of, edge until until I'm as good to where I can like start reading the tape and
yeah.
figuring out when pops are going to happen. Like, I mean, that's just insane. That's like next level stuff. And
Yeah.
for the people who are new here, oh my God, like, I mean, you guys don't even understand. I mean, he's calling out something, and then all of a sudden, bam, you get like what, 1 to 2 point move right off the bat. And then it's just a matter of whether you want to stay in. It's like, okay, I got my 1 or 2 points. I can try to long hold this, or, but you put your stop and profit. Yeah, and real time, like LSG just said, and not only that, but you're typing it up, you're talking to people,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no way. I mean, I get it,
It's challenging. It is challenging. I will say that. And I don't, you guys know that's why I do the morning side with people, and I got to take the back side of the day for myself because I like to be dialed in. When I'm dialed in by myself, I've got these Bose sound dampening headphones on. I'm talking to myself just like the mind of a trader. I've got some size on the position as well. I mean, there's a number of things, and you guys know when you hear me type in and I get kind of quiet. I heard I don't know who it was, maybe LSG and some others. Like, okay, when I see Katie, you typing like that, I'm dialing in. So I certainly appreciate your kind words. But I will say this: everyone who has been through my training and who wants to get better, 100% can operate at this level, and believe it or not, you can get to even higher heights. Like this level now, my next level is I'm obviously, you know, working with multiple positions throughout the day, right? So I'm trading options and futures at the same time, and I got a couple other things going. Now I'm not gonna blindly trade these things, but it takes some focus. Now, some of that I'll tell you, I do have a tech background. I do have a hyper focus background. It's likely someone has suggested this to me, and they're probably right. It's likely I'm on the spectrum, which means that and my wife has said it many times, when I'm dialed in, I don't hear nothing else. So those are things that also lend toward my success in business and tech and in the market. However, everyone, just like you did, Sonny, that you lean into one strength and build on it and then learn another one. Like if you were just the bomb scalper and I could teach you, because that's what happened with Fluff. Fluff will tell you, Fluff, incredible scalper, like crushing the game. We got into some trainings. I'm like, you probably just want to like zoom out a little bit because if I could teach you to know where this thing is going, you're going to crush this thing even more and get bigger moves and have less stress. Did that, went in the lab, made it happen, and now look at her, right? So same as with you. We just got to focus on, as you're doing here. I love that about you. Focus on one thing, master it, understand the framework, master it, and sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit. You mentioned something interesting that I want to kind of talk about too. Um, at the end of the day, in the private channel, we have a trade discussion channel where we don't just post, screenshots of wins, be it real or fake. We don't do that, right? Now, some Discords feel like it's motivation. I don't feel like that's motivation. It can be in some contexts, but I feel like the motivating part would be you can post your win, but why don't you break down the trade, right? Give us some context behind it, right? And so we've got a trade discussion channel. And you mentioned something to me. You said that even when you have green days, you would give yourself a good grade unless there's something about if you took too many trades, right? Right? It's something about
Yeah, like
you would
today I'm
adjust your
gonna give
grade based on not you would adjust your grade not based on sounds like it's not based on whether or not you came out green, but you adjust your grade based on if you properly executed. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Like I said today, and again, this is paper trading, so I'm not, not bragging, but I'm up over 1,000 today, but I'm going to give myself a C for taking 15 trades.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, it's the most profitable day that I've had paper trading yet. But how did I get there? I don't like the way I got there.
Yeah.
So, um, I'd rather have won $500 today and made, 3 or 4 or 5 perfect executable trades
Yeah.
than to have made 15 okay trades and I'm up 1,000. I honestly would rather have the 500 with perfect executions.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I did it, and so I got to live with it. I'm not going to lie about it. I took 15 trades.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the only way we get better, right? And like you guys see me when I take my loss, it's public. It ain't like it's like, oh man, he took it. You can see it. I can't hide it. I can't, oh, maybe. No, it's hey, look, I took a loss on that trade. Cut that sucker. Let's go to the when those happen, whatever. So, but that's the only way you get better. And I appreciate I love that it's not just a transparency in the public, you're being honest with yourself. And you are pushing yourself toward what really matters. And here's what matters. If you didn't get anything through this discussion, here's what matters. Treat each trade like an exercise. If you do not perform the exercise properly, it is a failed trade or failed attempt, regardless if you made money or not. The making the money gives you a false sense of success. Money is the byproduct of proper execution. That's it. Did I read this right? Did I follow my trade plan? If I did, check A plus. Did I read this right? Did I follow my trade plan? Nope. F, you failed. Did I read this right? Yes. But did I follow my trade plan? No, I scaled out or scaled in or I did something. I added more, I averaged down, whatever. Fail. Fail. You can't be half right. You are either correct or you're not. And the more you do that over and over and over and over, monitoring, journaling, tracking, the more your skill set will go up. It won't happen overnight, but you'll look up and in 90-day increments, you'll be like, man, I'm not a bad scalper now. Then after that, man, my entries are on point. Then it'll get to the point where it's like, man, I'm really seeing this market. My gosh, this is kind of scary. You're going to get scared. There's going to be a point if you stick around where you're going to get kind of nervous because the reality of your future as it pertains to the market is going to set in and you're going to say, oh my goodness, I think I have no ceiling. This thing, I can go as far as I want to go. So I agree with that statement and that setup and how you put that together. Um, you know, a lot of times traders have to go through some tough things. Would you agree with that? You gotta go through some things that's a little tough, so the reality of the market hits you. And you mentioned to me that going through this area, the depression part, coming up out of it, up front, it helped you figure out one of the biggest things that could have improved and really got you to the next level. Do you think that's the case with most traders?
It seems like it because every um well, and I know that we talk about this all the time of that you don't know if the people on YouTube are actually successful or not, but
Mhm.
you can kind of get a feel for it.
Yep.
After hanging around someone like you kind of get a feel for who's out on the YouTube
Yep.
telling the
Yep.
truth or not. And the ones that really resonate with me are the ones that admit that they blew up their account, you
Yep.
know? And that seems to be the overriding, uh, common theme that I've seen among all successful traders is that they lost first. They
Yeah.
failed first. and they maybe failed once, maybe they failed twice, maybe even three times before they became good traders, but they persevered, they were determined, and they never gave up. And that is something, that's a strength that I have. I have perseverance and a sort of a never give up attitude. I don't like to give up. I don't like to get beat. I think that's why I became a good software engineer, is because I was like, I'm never going to let a piece of software, beat me.
Yeah, man. And I hate not knowing. I hate not knowing. I will work, work, work. I don't like to not know about certain elements that, especially if they're the future, part of the future. So I agree with you. And that sheer determination that you have is critical for a trader. It's critical. And when a person, I'm going to touch on that for a minute, because sometimes people can get beat down so much um, that they just give up. And that behavior, from a psychological standpoint, that's referred to as learned helplessness. Have you ever heard of that? Anybody? Learned helplessness. Anybody? Well, there was some research done many years ago. I think it was by Seligman. I think it was by Seligman, and it's about learned helplessness. Now, the study put a bunch of rats in some type of compartment or cage. There was a low barrier just in the cage, but a low barrier, and uh, they were exposed to an electric shock on the floor on one side of this barrier. Now, it didn't take long in the beginning for the rats to just jump over the barrier, right? Go to the unshocked side. That was fine. But you know what happened? When you place those same rats in a different cage where both sides of the barrier were shocked, the rats would jump, get shocked, jumped again, get shocked, jumped again. And they just, jumping. And eventually, guess what happened to them? Guess what happened? They gave up on jumping. They would collapse to the floor and they would start to whine, whimper, and they gave up. Now, once you took those defeated, dejected, beaten down rats or mice and you put them back in the original cage, what do you think happened? They didn't jump over the barrier. They didn't even move. They gave up. Why? Because of learned helplessness. They learned that they could not change the environment. They couldn't do anything about it. So they failed to attempt even when the environment was changed. They have failed to do anything even when clearly around them things were different. Why? Because they learned to give up. So I think one key takeaway from our discussion in this nice, very transparent conversation today about how to turn discouragement into determination and handling losses, some takeaways would be the action plans. And I'll let you speak to that in a moment, Sonny, the follow through. But one thing I want to help people with is that you have to learn to give up. That's not a behavioral trait that you're just, developing over time. No. You're a fighter. And if you have the proper system in place, if you discipline yourself, you will continue to see progress. Then when you get shocked by the market, you'll regroup and you'll still be able to leap to new bounds. Sonny, you got some final words to leave us with?
Yeah, you mentioned you can't lie to yourself. I'll expand on that and say there's three people you should never lie to: yourself, your spouse, and your doctor. That said, I'm trading with a checklist now. I'm taking less trades, and I'm paying a lot more attention to the candlesticks, the price action, and looking at other things like multi-time frame analysis. And these are things that I wasn't doing any of these things before last month.
Mm-hmm.
And doing all these things, having a checklist before I get into a trade, trading less, reading the candlesticks better, and understanding the trends in the market. All of that stuff has just been an enormous help. And frankly, it's all stuff that you've taught, but it's just hard especially when you're new,
Hmm.
um, it's hard to really implement everything that you learn all at once. So I think these things had to happen in the order that they happened. Um, I don't have any regrets. Again, I'm happy now for that loss. I think that loss changed me, and it changed my behaviors.
Yep.
And I'll probably take another one at some point that will make me even better.
Hmm.
So I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of taking another loss, but I'm definitely trying to do my best to prepare myself now in lieu of the last one so that I just become better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, those are the things that I implemented were the checklist, the trade count, reducing the trade count, and then really diving into and understanding price action, market sentiment.
Hmm.
Those three things really helped. And of course, the encouragement from you to keep going, um, and this community. It's like, man, we're all in this together, and we all kind of see when when each other has a bad day and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of cool to be in a community where we're all there for each other. It really helps. And by the way, I apologize. I've been a little bit quiet in the Discord the last few days, and that's just because I've been working on a couple of other things. And so I just, kind of uh, being a little bit cautious with my time because I have so much going on right now.
Oh, no
But
need to apologize. You
but
got
but
stuff
I'm
going
s-
on.
but I'm still around. I'm always around. People can always hit me up with questions. Not trade advice, of course, questions, but any other kind of questions.
For sure.
Technical questions about platforms and stuff like that. I'm always happy to help you guys. Just don't ask me for trade advice. I'm not the guy.
For sure. Well, listen, Sonny, we appreciate you sitting down with us. We appreciate hearing about and your transparency and just hearing about your journey. We're excited to see how you continue to progress. I've seen you progress. I've seen your trades live and paper. Your results in both of them improve. Personally, that's my opinion, and I can say that you certainly get it. You understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint race, and that to get good.
100%.
Yeah, I hear people online. I heard a guy the other day. He said that, and I'm sure he's a cool dude, but I heard the guy say, the market is just about, what did he say? Colors and triangles and patterns. That's what he said. I can't make this up, folks. He said colors and triangles and patterns. I cringed when I heard that. I really did. Um, the market is much more than that. It's more complex than that. And so many
Did he
people.
also mention harmonic reversals by any
There
chance?
you go. He could have. He could have. He could have. But if a person is having some success in something, that's fair, right? I who am I? I'm not the lagging indicator police, or I'm not the trade my way or the highway police. But I will say this, and I don't want you guys to you know I don't want you to look at the market as something that you can't do. But I will say this, in my opinion, too many traders, especially this newer trader who's been in the market for just a few years, they I would say it's almost a disrespectful view. They relegate the market to this game and they try to repeat that behavior. Like they take the most complex environment in financial services. This is the most complex environment, right? Wall Street hires typical Ivy League grads or people with some type of edge and skill set. And they recruit these people out of college, out of your top colleges to come work for them. Now, why would they spend time trying to get the best of the best if the market wasn't difficult? Now just pause. Just think about it. If this thing were about triangles and colors and lines and a couple of patterns, if it were that easy, they could get some jabroni off the street. They could just say, hey, anybody, we'll teach you. It's easy. No, they're looking for folks that have a pattern of discipline in school. They've displayed that discipline by their grades and other things. And they're coming into this environment still fresh, but they've got something that they can build on because they want the best of the best, because this is challenging. So I'm going to encourage you. In your journey, you're going to take a loss. It's going to happen a few times. What you're trying to do is not avoid the loss. You are trying to manage losses and reduce the frequency. How do you do it? Sonny mentioned some beautiful points that he did. He busted himself down to paper trading, reduced his position size, started learning about multi-time frame analysis that we teach, price action, reading the market, a couple of other things. He plugged into a community here to help him get better. He reached out for support, and then he got tough with himself. He went into a rabbit hole of learning and practice, and he did not give up. And so when he gets shocked again, like those mice we talked about earlier, he will still have the endurance and the wherewithal to now respond and get better. So this has been a Mindset Mondays today. Beautiful discussion. Hopefully it helped you guys. How to turn discouragement into determination when handling a loss. How do you do it? Action plans and follow through. Remember this, when the going get tough, the tough get going. You start to take action and move, and you apply the systems that we teach here. It's been a pleasure, folks. Thanks, Sonny. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.